And Spice Laugh Comedy Bash is back by popular demand. Saturday 17th August at the Trade Center in Grandance and Sunday 18th August at Deluxe Cinema Grenville, 7 p.m. both shows. Prepare to be swept off your seats as Grenada's ambassadors of comedy will flood the place with laughter. Robert White, Dillian Walters and Gregory Paul, Kareem Alexis, and a host of others outrageously funny people doing outrageously funny things. Get your $60 tickets on sale at Mitchell's Pharmacy Food Fair Complex Grandance, Gittins Pharmacy Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy Pedmata, St. Andrew's Pharmacy Grenville, St. David's Pharmacy, Art and Soul Bookstore, Spiceland Mall, 3B Shoe Store, Downtown St. George's, and go to Fed.com. Tickets for the previously scheduled Grenville performances are valid for both shows. Don't miss this final opportunity to enjoy a good Grenadian laugh at Spice Laugh Comedy Bash, 17th and 18th August at the Grenada Trade Center and Deluxe Cinema. Get your tickets and come prepared to laugh.
Yeah. Right along live, welcome to the ride. Thursday on the ride. As you guys come and go ahead and share up the thing, we have a lot to discuss. A continuation from yesterday. But this part of the conversation, guys, we're going to be having a panel discussion, right? The panel discussion consists of two stakeholders. And some people think when you're having panel discussion, or you must have people with jacket and tie, or you must have board of director members and all of these people. No, we don't need board of directors. We don't need SpiceMas co-chair or CEO to have a postmortem on Carnival. Today we're gonna have it with, I ain't gonna say ordinary folks, but some folks who have been really in the whole scheme of things for a long time. DJ Bookie, Randall Rennie, who a lot of people don't know him at that. I went to school with him, so I know him on a first name basis, is a friend. He has been very active in culture for many years, right? So he know what's going on. He know about the music. He know about quality of music, and of course, comedian. Some people might revere him as one of the online social media comedian. He's also going to be joining us as well. I'm talking about Ron Barry. He was supposed to join us last night, but I overtalk. Right, last night I really went out. When I went back and watched the show, like, whoa, I spoke for a very long time, which led Barry's phone to die. And when I did get him on, his phone just cut off. So I ain't gonna do that again tonight. All right, I'll give you a chance to speak. So we have a discussion, guys. The idea is to bring forth some real solid advice and recommendations. So the people that are watching the SpiceMas organization, the folks who are stakeholders in the thing could possibly take some, leave some. You know, you don't get everything wholesale, but there might be some good things that you could take out of this discussion. At the end of the day, everyone loves SpiceMas. Everyone wants to see SpiceMas grow, from the artists to the vendors to the social media advocates, so everyone, and including the patrons. So we're continuing from yesterday, all right? This is a continuation. So share the program, guys. Share it. I'm going to do the same as well. Jackie Chaitan, how you doing? Spice, Onika, Suzanne, Natonia, ATN, how you doing? Thank you so much. Thank you. When I'm satisfied that everyone shares sufficiently, we're going to start the conversation. Let me see. And yesterday, guys, let me tell all you something. I don't know what went on with my internet service here, but it was blurry as hell. Hopefully, it doesn't get blurry more than how it is. I don't think it's good now. It's better than yesterday. But with that router, sometimes it does kind of go on and off. So if that happens, you know, I be pre-warned. Okay? So, guys, yesterday we covered some brief topics, right? In terms of what I think, personally, from my opinion, how I feel like some new ideas that could be brought forth to the table for SpiceMas to consider. Okay, I spoke about the fact that I thought it was it takes a lot to put on a festival like SpiceMas. It takes a whole lot of coordination. You're running multiple events, right? So you have to give kudos to the organization and the people who put up their hand. It's like although they're getting paid for it, but nobody could pay you enough to do all that work. So it's like you could almost say like they're volunteering, right? But they work hard. And in that working hard, we don't want to say that they didn't do their job. They did their best, right? And in every carnival, coming and going, there would always be postmortem that says, this could be improved, that could get better, we could do this in a certain kind of way. So this is not a program bashing SpiceMas and bashing the CEO or bashing the chairman or the vice chair of SpiceMas. This is how basically things that people might see that could improve the brand. All right, I want to make that explicitly clear. Okay. So yesterday we spoke on some of the things that I thought that was incorrect in the grand scheme of things. One, I believe that the idea of SpiceMas having taken the approach to personalize the preliminaries and not open it out to other platforms was a mistake. That led to a lot of people not being able to see, not being able to be a part of the thing. And SpiceMas page is not a very popular page. I think other platforms could have joined in to reach the massive amount of people that SpiceMas don't have the ability to reach, but they decide to hold it close to their chest like a newborn baby. And then by that, it to me, and that's to me, I didn't think that was done properly. In addition, we spoke yesterday about the pay-per-view, and I am very strong on forgetting about the pay-per-view. I mean, just doing away with the pay-per-view. I think the pay-per-view hold back the artists, one, and I think the pay-per-view is very short-sighted. It possibly would have been a good idea 10, 15 years ago, but it's no longer a good idea. I think we should open up the pay-per-view. I think we should get sponsors and advertisers to take on the responsibility of marketing the broadcast, and the advertisers get title sponsors to fund it. And you will see a couple things. One, you would make much more money than you're making with the pay-per-view now, a lot more money. In addition, you would see that you will give the stakeholders, which is some of the artists, much more reach. They would reach more people, all right? It will promote the brand. And 100, probably 100, 200, 300, 500, 1,000 more people would come down to Grenada. So when you're thinking you're losing money, you're actually making money. Because when more people come to the island, they're spending money on gas, they're spending money on and even now Wassa making more money because people bathing more, hopefully. Yeah, they're taking more showers, hopefully. The electric companies making more money, hotels making more money, the local shop vendor making more money. So you can't be narrow-sided. Do away with the pay-per-view. It's not serving the purpose. You might make a couple $1,000s, but that is just a narrow margin of what you are potentially not making, and including the fact that that pay-per-view thing, every time you have to, different accounts and stuff had to get shut down, and people would forever hijack. You shut down one, next one would pop up. So we spoke about that yesterday. We started to speak about something that's brewing. Scholar has brought this to the fore, and we're speaking about the Calypso, right? So we're going to dive deeper into this, and we're going to also speak about Road March, because I'm seeing people out there, and they're talking about the Road March and who should get it, who shouldn't get it. They're bashing the person that got it, and he didn't do anything. He just went in the studio, sang a good song, put it out there, and he won it. You can't blame him for doing that. So what really went wrong there? So enough of me chatting, yapping. Let's bring on my panelists. Again, he is no stranger to media. I'll tell you guys a quick little story. Rondell Rennie, DJ Bookie, when he was in staff to write my example.
It seems like I'm not hearing you.
DJ Bookie, Rondell, you hearing me?
Yeah, I mean, you just went off for a little bit, but you come back on.
Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure that the audio is routed correctly. It's coming and going, so we ain't hearing you too clearly. Ron, are you hearing me?
You look like you're hearing it
Okay.
yet.
Ron, are you hearing me? Okay. I know what happened. I know what happened. I get this audio down. Okay. All right. Yeah, guys, are you hearing me? DJ Book, you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Okay, I got you loud and clear as well. Bookie, how you doing, boy? You good?
Tired, you know. Tired and recovering, man. Tired and recovering.
I hear that. Yeah. Randall, back in SARS, used to have a time.
I think I will have to go out and re-enter. Sorry, let me re-enter because I'm not hearing anything.
Okay. Go out and come back in, DJ. Ron. No problem. So, Bookie,
Yeah,
while we wait for Ron, what's your assessment on SpiceMas 2024?
I believe there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be fixed. I believe whether or not the SpiceMas Corporation would have said that they have a successful season or not, I believe there is work to be done. Um, I believe they're trying. I cannot bash them for not trying, but I believe that the avenues for improvement that are there should be explored instead of ignored.
Uh-huh.
I firmly believe that is one of the issues we're having. I don't believe at a lot of the times that the powers that be have their ears on the ground enough. They don't listen to the regular person, and that kind of leaves them in a quandary with just being all bureaucratic. And at the end of it all, you end up doing everything according to the T, but the alphabet has 25 other
Right.
letters.
Aha. I see. Uh, DJ Bookie, is it that audio playing in your background, or is it me?
Yeah,
I
there's
hear like
some.
somebody singing.
Yeah, there's singing in.
Or oh, all right. Okay, no problem. We'll have to bear with it. All right, so we'll come back to that. Ron, what's your overall assessment of Spice Mass this year?
Well, George, to be honest with you, I would say they try, but there is, to be honest, a lot of work to be done. Not just a little bit, a lot in all areas, not just one part. But they try. To be honest with you, I think this year it has a little improvements in it. But I think for one, I would say in one area I think they need to look at is in terms of the prices that they charge people who who brings out carnival. They need to work on that one for sure. And I'll give you a little scenario as to what some of the things. Now, Junior, there the people who you see selling at because they said to me, they say, Africa man, you need to do a video on this. Now you see the people who are and we can't be looking down on anybody because
Right.
from the cleaner to the king and queen of Calypso is important to all of us. To the jab, the short knees, everybody plays a vital role. And Junior, you could imagine that the people who are selling the food, who is promoting we oil long, we waters, we manage waters and these things. You know that these people and them having to pay $800 and $700 just to sell on the ground day, not even sure that they would make money. I mean, I see some people come to me and I tell you they're literally crying. That, and Junior, I could see with that if they're paying $800 and you're providing them with a tent or some, even if some pallets to put around their business to sell, nothing like that. You pay $800 and you have to spend the rest to do whatever. So if it means
Hold on. So it is in reference to the stalls or the vending areas. Are
Yeah.
vending areas set up? Are vending areas set up based on jurisdiction? Who's TJ, by the way? I see somebody named TJ trying to get on. Are vending areas set up based on high demand areas? Like, for instance, there might be someone who looking for a prime area at a specific location that may cost XYZ, and another area that may not be as on demand or high demand areas might be a little less. Are they those type of arrangement? Because I'm not sure. I'm just asking.
Well, I haven't heard of whether or not they have specific spots that sells for specific price. But what they are saying to me is that once you go, I guess you want to set up a stall, 700, 800. I think the lease was $600. I think. But for people that I spoke to who spoke to me, said to me, Ron, listen, this is ridiculous. Because to be honest with you, Junior, there was a lot of sellers there. There was a lot of sellers there. And we need them. They are important. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
but I
Right.
think,
So you're
yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Yeah, but what I am not only bashing SpiceMas. I'll be very honest with you because I think what we lack in Grenada here is unity. That is one of the biggest problem we have in Grenada here. Because, Junior, for all these years, these people have been selling there. You are telling me that they cannot form an organization to say, listen, we have an organization and we all decide, okay, let me sit down with the board and decide, okay, what is the fittest price? Because you have been selling for years. So you must know, if, okay, for the past 5 years, I've been making $300. So is it worth it to pay $700 and $600 and $800 to sell? So you could liaise with it because you have an organization. You could go as an organization and say, listen, this is our research. That's what we know what goes on with selling on the ground day for Carnival. So what good all you could do for us? What can you all do for us in terms of the price?
Right.
You know?
I want to come back on that. I want to come back on that because I heard it from a different perspective, and which we're going to touch on. But DJ Buki, do you have any issues or problem with the vending arrangement from what you were able to observe for Carnival?
Well, over the years, there are certain vendors who hold the same position on the routes for Carnival, which I don't know if it's private lots they own, or if you just understand that I might be selling there, so you can go and sell there, or run selling here from here, so I just don't book there. Um, the same arrangement that Ron is talking about, where there is an upfront payment. A few years ago, what had happened was the vendors who had planned to sell in the Carnage area or anything beyond Burns Point into St. George's Town, they were also um, paying the same amount of monies. But then the carnival route changed. So they changed the carnival route to make the circle around the Burns Point, roundabout back into Tantina under the terrace area. But the vendors had paid to sell on the carnival route. So which actually cut them out of making the monies. Now I'm not too sure if they're still selling vending spots in the Carnage area, but as he was saying, it's kind of tough with all these vendors and the upfront cost just to operate, because there's a lot of cost to bring your stuff in, take them out. I mean, yes, it's risk. You're on a business and it's risk. How I'm seeing it though is, why put so much pressure on the vendors? Sometimes it comes like, like in some Caribbean countries where you have a protection tax, or you're technically extorting the workers or the business places in the area. It's like you do nothing really for them, but you collect from them. And to me, that
Right.
kind of puts them at a major disadvantage. And as he's saying, it's a very good idea if they could come together and try and sort this out. Because from year to year, a lot of vendors on this side of the road not selling much. because people spending power already
Yeah.
low. Foreigners coming in, they're spending power low. Things ain't cheaper overseas either.
Yeah. Now here's my issue. Here's my real issue as it have to do with the vending. The problem that I see here is that you have those all-inclusive bans, and that's not knocking the all-inclusive bans, eh? But with the all-inclusive bans, they give you food and drink, and sometimes masquerader probably would have gone out and get some food or whatever. No, most of the bands are all-inclusive into the package. So that is less sale, right? And again, we're not knocking those all-inclusive bands, but that ultimately mean that the vendors themselves will sell less, would make less money. So I don't know if that is a consideration, but it has to be looked at. The all-inclusive bands are taking a lot away from the vendors, and but again, it's a business to make money for everybody at the end of the day. But so that is my issue with the situation. And I think that someone made a comment here and they said that it should be based on what you're selling, right? It should be the price should be based on what you're selling and the location. Like if you're in that specific area, which I think the Carolina is supposed to be like one of the prime of the areas. If the bands would have come down there at earlier time, but we see that band don't reach down to the Carnage not until late, like late, and that is definitely causing a problem because we're not seeing as much vendors on the Carnage anymore, not patrons on the Carnage, which is cutting the bottom line to the vendors that are there. So that's my issue with that. So solution now, because every issue we put up, Ron, we have to find a solution. We have to give forth a solution. What do you think that that SpiceMas need to do now to fix this issue?
Well, as I said, Junior, to start with, it have to start with the people that are selling. Right? And they need to go to SpiceMas and say, listen, we are selling there. We need some sort of a arrangement. Probably, Junior, they could even come together with the band, the owners of the band, and say, listen, we probably could do some chips, right? And okay, so you go out with the chip and you could say, okay, from the band, you could buy the drinks from the people who are selling. You give them the chip and you could get whatever drinks you want. And so that could be a little something that could work. We probably could try to see what it would be like, But of course, everybody is in it for the money. So they want to make maximum amount of money as they can. So but that's a little solution they could look at, probably do some chip. The bands could probably liaise with the sellers and say, listen, well, okay, SpiceMas, this is what we want to do. Let me try and do that. Try that for this year. And let's see how it works. And then next year we decide. And then, okay, so that band will pay SpiceMas and SpiceMas will pay these people. That is how I see.
How your solution. All right. Okay. All right. So we're moving on. Here is another potential issue that I'm hearing people speaking about. It have to do with the bands, right? What you call local bands versus foreign influence ban. Bookie, do you see that as a potential problem? Because what I saw on the parade route this year is Andre Garvey and Associate, which is a local homegrown band. I'm sure he does most of his stuff here in Grenada. He didn't have more than 50 people in his band. Amazing band. He had a lot of colorful costume, really great costumes, but he didn't get that support versus the other bands who some might say foreign influence band with this large, huge following. Some people said, well, that's a referendum on the promotion that probably Andre Garvey did. Why he didn't promote more to get more people to play, and you can't knock the foreign bands for having all the following. What's your take on that?
Well, you can't do anything about people wanting to play with a foreign band or any band, whether it was Andre had the majority of people or not. The thing about it is this: when you speak to some of the local promoters, what they would tell you is promotion has a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah.
It's usually about promotion. Now, a lot of the people who actually play mass, and especially has to do with the price of the costumes for females, especially, are foreign visitors, right? I Most of them would have purchased the costumes long before they came to Grenada.
Yeah.
I also believe that Andre has his costumes online, but I don't think that he would have done the same drive as some of those bands. Now, from
Right.
last year, I would have heard people make comments about playing with foreign bands. One of those such comments would have been the band was so large that it took them forever to get meals, or it took them forever to get back a second drink. So, for that reason, they didn't play this year. Then again, one of the major bands from last year didn't even participate this year, which would have left a lot of loose, I should say, masqueraders to play with the already larger bands. So
Right.
I would have expected Andre Garvey to have much more people just because of that particular reason. And then when it came to right before Carnival, I started hearing people saying, especially foreigners, they were having costume issues with some of the bands from overseas.
Right.
They were not getting the costumes on time. They were getting costumes of the wrong sizes, etc. And with all these things going on, it brings me back to the average Grenadian day life. Any normal Grenadian walks into a store and he sees two packets of macaroni on the shelf. One is locally made, one is foreign made. The local one stays on the shelf about 80 something percent of the time. It's just that we are groomed. We have been groomed. We have been taught. We have been influenced, inducted, everything into believing that foreign stuff is always better. So it's difficult now for us to lean away from that trend. Once costumes are available, most people tend to lean towards the foreign ones than the local ones. No matter how the local one have to come real strong. Otherwise, I would one of the foreign bands. It's that simple. That's how I know it. I don't ask you that. I know that.
Right. 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 And you made a very interesting point there. All right. Saying that did the local bands are the local bands doing as much promotion, right? And I don't see that being a bad thing, really and truly. As much as people making noise about it, I don't see the bands that are what they call foreign bands or foreign influence bands, however you want to put it. I don't see it being a bad thing because think about it like this: if a band that came from Trinidad or influence from Trinidad and have influence in whatever place, they brought down 500 people, most of which they might be able to promote and bring them into Grenada, and they play mass with them. They spend $1,500 to play mass with them. Think about how much thousands of dollars they're spending to do other things, like, as I said earlier, to rent a car or to get driven around or to put gas or to even bathe, as I said earlier, even take a shower. A lot of more people taking a shower now are making more money. Grand Lake making more money. The people have to get cell phones. So it's not a bad thing. They might spend $1,000 with you, but in the economy, they're injecting hundreds of and thousands of dollars into the economy. So you shouldn't knock them. I think you should welcome them and everyone that want to participate. So that's one thing I think it's not a bad thing. Ron, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, as my good friend was saying, if you measure the price is, if I'm getting a cheaper macaroni, obviously, Junior, macaroni is macaroni. I will eat it for the cheaper one. What?
Right.
And let me tell you what I think SpiceMas should do. Because remember, all local bands have to import all the materials. So where I think SpiceMas should come in is that, listen, let me give all you a bigger discount in terms of bringing in the items, your charges, reduce the charges, right? So at least they could make it a more affordable way so that we could compete with these foreign bands. Because obviously we will not able to compete with these foreign bands if we continue having to the same, because tax and VATs and all these things making it either you say, okay, listen, when for the band members alone, we will take off the VAT. and we will, we waive the VAT for them. So at least they could bring in the material. It will be cheaper. We could afford to reduce the price. But remember, with the high price, there's nothing we could do. So that lies straight in their hands. If you could reduce the cost, then them could reduce their price, and we come even with them.
Well, listen, as a band presenter as well, everyone get concession, right? Once you register with SpiceMas, you get concession on bringing in items. You get your concession letter from SpiceMas, send your concession letter to SpiceMas. After you register, it goes to the Board of, Finance, and Finance issue a concession letter. You go, whether you're a foreign band or a local band, even the local bands, the products are not generically made here. They have to be imported from somewhere to be set up here. The other bands might import all the costumes or what have you, and they would get concession just as the local band. So there's no decrease or increase in the VAT. Everyone supposed to get concession on items once they register with SpiceMas. I know that to be a fact because that's how I get concession, right? Here is another school of thought, guys. What happens when or if the foreign influence band now decide to say, you know what? I had my share of Grenada Carnival. I'm gonna now take my band and move it to a different place. What then happened to the local band if they was kind of pushed out of the way? When I pushed out of the way, they was kind of sideline or what have you. What then happened to those bands when and if the foreign influence band decide to move away? Bookie, what's your thoughts?
Well, as you say, if there is a band that comes in from, for example, from Trinidad with 500 followers, and a further 1,000 from Grenada join the band, and next year that band pulls away, that means that band pulls away maybe about 400 of its visitors. The rest who may still choose to come to Grenada for Carnival might come. Then you have people who are now wavering between which next band to go to. That would spill over into some other bands having more members, but it would also kind of leave a glut in the mass parade, because there would obviously be, like, we have 10 trucks on the road this year, 2 trucks from foreign polo, that's 8 trucks. And that leaves a hole. That, as it might leave a big hole, because these bands are big bands. It's not a 50-person or a 60-person band. It's a couple hundred or a couple thousand masqueraders. That would leave a hole, I should say, for in the parade itself.
Right. Do you think that SpiceMas, the SpiceMas organization, should try to find a way that does not happen, where both could coexist together? We could still have an influence and make sure that the local bands survive and they don't fall off. Because this year I didn't see Haley Murray and Associate. Did you see them? I didn't see Haley Murray and Associate. I didn't see a few other local bands that I usually see on the road. I didn't see them this year. I did see Andrew Garvey, but he was the only local band that I saw. But should SpiceMas do more to keep or to ensure that we do have a band set or a group that is producing Carnival, and they don't get glutton, they don't get eat up by the other bigger bands? Should more be done, you think? What's your thoughts? I mean, let's go with Ron. What's your thoughts on this? Should more be done to help those bands?
Well, Junior, to be honest with you, really and truly, I think if the only thing they can do is probably one, either they promote our bands a little more. I mean, yes, because the foreign bands already have the money sorted out too. Because remember, the local man doesn't have the amount resource to say to really, and as you say, a lot of them, they can't, to promote the band alone, it takes a lot of money, because these foreigners spend thousands of dollars to promote. Because obviously, if you want to make money, you have to promote, I mean, you think right along just get where it is now because what you just sit down on a little phone like how I does do it and go as viral as how he does go. No, you spend money into your instruments, you invest, and that's how you do it. You have to invest, and we have to learn. Listen, we have to learn to lose and gain, right? And if we want to make, we need to spend. And I think that is one of the biggest problems. We afraid to spend because we thinking, hey, if we spend all that money, what about if we don't make it back? It's a risk. Sometimes you spend it and you make way over it. Sometimes you spend it and you may not make what you spend. But it's good to take the risk because let me tell you, when you set a standard, people always look forward to your standard. I'll be very honest with you. People
Yeah.
always look forward to you. Let me tell you, your standard is important. You
Yes.
understand? If people looking at a video from you and they're looking at a video from me, they can see the difference and they will more want to watch your video because of the clarity and everything. But for me, I am just using an ordinary little phone. It's not that. So people will quicker look at your videos than they look at mine. And it's
It's
because
about
you,
content. I believe it's about content. It's about content, having quality content. That's
right.
what.
So and that's what they need to the local band members need to do. They need to put in money and make sure that the product is marketable. People
Right.
could see it and they could gravitate to it and say, yes, I need, even the cost is high. They will go to it because why? It's a standard. And that's what the foreign bands are doing. They have a standard. Even from the marketing to the presentation, they spend a lot of money. And that's what we need to do here. You understand? The band members need to spend a little more.
They need to up their game.
Junior, just let me interject right there, right? No, what he made is an excellent point.
Yeah.
But I was leaning more to the effect that not just that the people here need to have a better product, because sometimes you have nice products here as well, you know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is to make sure that you don't, okay, over, if Carnival goes on for the next 50, let's say 30, 20 years, the more SpiceMas name spreads, the more foreign influence will come in. It's just going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bands are going to start coming in from Barbados. Bands are probably going to come from St. Vincent. But what do you do to make sure that maybe in 2029, all these mass bands don't just put their heads together and say, okay, you know what? We don't like SpiceMas terms, we're not going back. I believe SpiceMas should form certain way that they make a contract with these mass bands. Just like sports players. If I'm really good, I'm on your team, I can just leave when I feel like. I sign you into a bond for 5, 6 years that all these years you have to come to SpiceMas and play. You have to come and represent because that's what you're part of SpiceMas. You have to come. That I believe that is one of the ways you could tie them into SpiceMas. Because if this band just pull out next year or the following year, all these foreign influence stop come. All these people who following these mass bands stop come. That's a big drop. That's a
Mm-hmm.
big. It might look like not
So
much,
so
but
so 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 what we're saying right now, we are at this juncture. We are at this point where we are heavily relying on the foreign influence bands to make carnival. That's where we are. That's what we're saying, right?
it seems so to me.
Interesting.
It seems so. And if
Interesting. I'll
if
come back to that.
and they want to come, right? They want to come. That's why they're
Right.
here. So if they want to come, then we allow them to come. But we make sure that it's not just a monetary benefit. We have to look good as well. We need, if you're coming, we need to make sure that the people are going to be coming to see Band X from Trinidad. Band X from Trinidad doesn't just pull out 2 days before Carnival and say, okay, we're not having this band no more. And then people kind of feel like, okay, we wanted to see Band X.
So SpiceMas right now is at the mercy of these bands. That's where we are.
That is, we're
That's what.
headed into that. I'm not sure if it's at that point yet, but we're kind of headed into that as far as I see.
Interesting. Interesting. I hope we're listening because that's dangerous, by the way. That's very dangerous, by the way. And I think years ago I heard Bobby Steele speaking about this and how dangerous this could potentially be. Because if you're at the mercy of foreign bands where we were talking about, if you don't come, we don't have a carnival, then that's a dangerous posturing. That's dangerous posturing, right? Let's dive out a little bit. We'll come back to that, guys. You're watching Right Along Live. We have we having this conversation, this discussion panel on the way forward for SpiceMas. There are a lot of recommendations that we want to make. I personally have a whole ton of recommendation after being here in SpiceMas for so long, and I've recognized, I've seen, I've observed, I've spoken to a number of people that came. We have some serious and solid recommendation on the way forward for SpiceMas. And today we have, of course, DJ Bookie and Ron Barry, who is chatting with us, bringing some excellent points to the table. But we always also giving you guys an opportunity to call in as well. The number that you call is 718-701-5720. Let's talk about Jab Jab. Let's talk about Jab Jab. Because when we promote Grenada Carnival, when we promote SpiceMas, it's about the jab. It's about the jab, right?
Right, true.
Right, true. But but the question is, I want to ask that question in a way that I don't offend anybody. I don't want to offend anybody. So I'll be try to be very careful in my question on the jab. Okay, hold on. Let me take that call before I go on. That person is, I can't bring you into the system because for some reason my mixing board is not working, so I'll take you to the speakers. Caller, you live.
Hi, Junior. How are you?
I'm doing great, caller. How are you? Where you calling us? Where you calling us from?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, caller. Where you calling us from?
I'm calling from.
Sorry, guys, I had to reset. My internet started to act up. So, caller, start back over again.
Good evening, Junior.
Go ahead.
I'm from Boston.
Yes.
I don't want to speak about SpiceMas, but I think I have to speak about. I want to talk about the DJs.
Okay.
Hi, G. Good afternoon. Well, evening. I also want to talk about the radio announcers and the radio program directors. Let me give you a perfect what they do and what they don't do. Andrew Hitz was in the finals. I've listened to one radio station from a certain time to a certain time, and I did not hear them play his song at all. A lot of people that was there at the finals have never heard Andrew Hitt's song. And it's not about him not promoting his song. He did a very good job in doing so. But according to some people, if you're not a big artist, I'm not going to play your song. If you're not a friend of mine, I'm not going to play your song. Right? And it's not only Andrew Hitz. A few of the guys, the new ones that was in finals, I myself didn't hear their song playing on the radio.
Right.
I would have to go to YouTube, or like Andrew Hitz and I is very good friends. So when he set a blast, I'm part of his blast, so I be into artists that had great songs, and you cannot hear it on the radio. You only heard it on the night that they performed.
Right.
They only playing 5 people, 5 other artist songs. It's on rotation. But yet still, in the beginning of, I think it was around May or April, I heard a promoter said on a radio station, I'm not hearing those artists and them songs. Why no one is dropping songs? Why do they want to wait this late? One radio station, Mandela sent his song 6 times. And they never download his song and played his song.
Okay.
So if you are putting certain artist songs in archives, and then you come in on the radio station and saying, well, you don't hear it. How are you going to hear it when they don't even like this person?
Right.
I want to say one more thing. Because two of my artists support one particular party in Grenada, they refuse to play their songs. They refuse to even give them a booking. Right?
Who refused to give them a booking?
To this point,
who refused to give them a booking?
Promoters.
Okay.
Right? Someone personally called me and told me, as long as whatever Mandela songs would never be played on the radio station, or would he get a show in Grenada?
Okay.
I am Mandela's manager. You call me and you telling me this. Makes no sense. Right?
Okay.
So when I get to a point and say, that's okay, we don't need Grenada, he's going to fly out and make more money, then they're saying, okay, Mandela think he's big and he's too big for Grenada. Right? But they forget in what they said to me.
Right. Interesting point.
So I have the issue with the DJs, the promoters, the radio personnel, and the program directors. They get the music, they have it in the email, and saying that we don't have it. I myself personally sent it to one radio station 3 times. I stayed on the phone with that DJ, and I said, check your email. He told me he got it. 2 days later, I called the same DJ, and he said, oh, we didn't get it.
Okay.
You know why he said so? I use my other phone to call, so they won't see my caller's ID, or my number on the caller's ID.
All right.
So he did not know I was the same person.
I got you.
Junior, I just hope that they put all that aside and just say, let me play this artist, because they spend money in the studio.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And at the end of Carnival, they can't even put $2 back into their pocket.
Right. Okay. Point taken. We'll definitely discuss that, because DJ Bookie is, I think that one is for you, DJ Bookie. Why is that one? Why is DJs and them choose not to play them guys and their music? What's the first step?
Just before I was just reading through the comments, and I saw somebody made a comment that was a ridiculous idea to tie the foreign bands into a contract in Grenada. So if you think it's so ridiculous, let us see what happens if next year June, Oro and the next band choose to not come to Grenada for Carnival. Let me see how Carnival will look on the street parade. I saw it's a prominent name, but sometimes these people think that things have to stay one way. This is an evolving industry. All right, let me address the music issue. Most DJs are afraid to address DJ and music issues within the industry, right? I am not most DJs. I would address these things forthwith based on what I know. Now, I posted on the internet one day on Facebook that the DJ on the radio played one song, wheel it out 3 times, and then play it almost to the end. Then he played the next song, which was also a Soca Mona contender, verse, chorus, wheel it out, bring in another Soca Mona contender, pull it up 3 times again. And I'm asking myself, and I keep saying this, as my friend Doggy Slaughter from Trinidad once told me, if we don't understand our mission as Grenadian DJs, we are going to flop our music. But somehow our DJs seems to get to be influenced by the hype only, without understanding the mission. We have several bouillon songs being played on the road, in party, by the river, by the sea, all where you can go. we have bouillon segment. Now, when I'm not against you playing bouillon, I'm not against any music, right? Because Grenada music plays overseas as well, but not like this.
Right.
When you are a Grenadian DJ, you are responsible for Boise, Mandela, Loose Cannon, Dash, and every other name in this business from Jad King go right back down to Lavaman and Talpi and everybody. That is who we are responsible for. If we don't play them, maybe somebody like Stephen might pick up a van and throw him out into the rest of the world, and then he feels like he doesn't owe Grenada anything because we did not push him up where we are supposed to. We tend to have this way that we only want to play what we feel we saw somebody post on the internet and are jumping up to, the trending songs. But as the lady is saying, yet still songs be sent to the radio station and they just don't get played. So if they never get played, how does the general public hear them? Not everybody's on the internet looking for Grenada soca music to like or to listen to. The figures on the internet are not necessarily the liking of a song. I believe, right? I keep saying I don't when I say SpiceMas, I don't mean SpiceMas Corporation. I can say SpiceMas Corporation here now. We need a workshop to govern Grenadian DJs, whether we be on the radio or whether we represent SpiceMas Corporation as a DJ on the streets of Carnival. Because this is the moment that we get to showcase Grenada soca. This is not me playing at PB's nightclub in Grenville and I feel to just run some foreign song and play a whole segment and no play no Grenada soca. This is not that time. At that time, the eyes of the world is open on Grenada. You cannot be on a radio station and hand picking certain songs to play just because you want your segment to sound all hype. You owe a duty to every soca artist who went to studio and penned a song. Some songs need work and they might not make the general playlist. We know that. But songs that the judges say would have made it to semifinals. What's his name? The one who sing about how much you're paying to see the monkey on the tree. His song deserve the same respect on radio as Boise's song or as Terra's defending song, right? But we DJs, us DJs, and I'm saying us DJs, not me particularly because I don't do that when I was on radio. We tend to gravitate too much to the listening public. So because we believe that Bad Squad have the fans, we want Bad Squad fans to have us as their DJ. We would want to without Boise 5 times. But because ASAP Squad is not with our people, we run through Terra song, or we run through the Monkey and the Tree song, or we run through Andrew Hits Phillips song, or we don't pull Mandela song, period, or we don't play loose song, period. On radio, every artist is equal share. Now on the weekend when you feel to juggle some trees, it might be a slightly different. But during the carnival days, the days coming up to the Soca Monarch semi-final and finals, it is not the job of the DJ on the radio to decide who the public like. However, it has been brought to my attention that somehow between the vines, there are people who are influencing the radio DJs in order that they have a lean to certain songs. It is not a recent phenomenon, but it's becoming more ugly in recent times. I would say, Junior, if you sing a song or if you sing a song and you want your song play more than everybody else would, pay
Yeah.
the radio station for an advertisement so your song could play as a commercial. Apart from that, the DJ on the radio has obligation to every artist equal share.
Right, right, right. You know that you made some pretty valid points there, right? Especially when people looking at the songs for the road, because that is influence. You know, a DJ could, I mean, an artist could easily go to a DJ and say, "Yo, here's a little change, pull me up on the road," or I've had artists came to me before and say, play this at the judging point, play that tune at the judging point, right? Or let me jump on the judging point because you're looking for the road match. So it's easy to influence the DJs. But how do you decide on what song should get played? Like right now, if you're on the radio station and you're playing, do you look and see, boy, nah, I don't like that tune, Is it you, or is that dictated by the whatever program manager or ownership of the radio station? Who make that determination?
Usually, you would pull whatever song you want to pull during your shift, right? But in recent time, I've understood that management might pass down a list of artists or songs that they want to push. Now, you on radio working with management, no, your hands are technically tied because you cannot go against. You're working with a company, right? So if I want my artist to get played more, I could simply pay the radio station as a business arrangement to play my song. It's been happening in every other country. I pay the radio station as a business arrangement to get my song played on every single shift, just as a commercial. If it
Yeah,
doesn't get played, I can call the radio station and make noise about it, right?
yeah,
Now, there are particular radio stations who have artists. Some radio stations already have artists who they are promoting. Now, it depends on how influential they are and how influential their friends are, or the friends from within the corporation or the friends from within the entertainment business, how influential they are as to pass these things down. Because if I have a mass band on the street and I'm paid by a producer or I'm paid by the managing team of a certain artist a sum of money, and he says, play Ron's song whenever you cross the judging point. It doesn't matter what the masqueraders want to hear, or if I'm going to mix in a next song with it. If it is a paid arrangement, I have no choice. And
right.
this happens elsewhere. Grenada is follow fashion.
But at the end of the day, and I'm jumping here, at the end of the day, it's all about relation. It's all about relation and relationship that you would have. For instance, if you have a bad my headphones, hold on. Yeah. If you have a bad my headphones are just crackling. If you have a bad vibe with a DJ as an artist, and you and the DJ have problem. Because Grenada is a small place at the end of the day. Most likely the DJ ain't gonna pull up your tune.
Nope.
It's just having good. It's just like everything else. It's business 101. Friendship. You're cussing me out. You're going on Facebook and you're talking bad about me. And then when I have the upper hand on you, I probably ain't gonna give you a play because hey. So the artist should always put himself in a position. That's why the artists have management, because their management can handle certain things that the artists do what they have to do, and that's where it is. Ran, you've been pretty silent there, so I wanted to chime in about the music scene. What's your take on all of this?
Junior, what I would say on this to be honest with you, is that we are marketing Grenada on a whole. So whether or not somebody don't like a particular singer, or though that singer, I mean, yeah, they have the issues. But let we put that aside and let we think about Grenada.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes you might say, okay, I don't like that song, but there might be 50 people who like the song. So should I make my own ego get these 50 people not coming in town because probably user DJ doesn't, or don't come follow that band because user DJ don't play that man's song? That's why we have to think. We have to think holistic. We can't be thinking about just we sell personal thing. We have to think
Right.
about Grenada. We're building a product for Grenada. And at the end of the day, we put differences aside and focus on building Grenada. And whether or not radio stations and Junior, let me show you this about the radio stations. To be honest with you, radio stations is in to make money. And if you is a radio station that only plays soca that nobody wants to hear, it's like you definitely putting yourself out of business. Simple. We may not like it, but that's how it is, right? But that doesn't mean to say in and between you can't stick in. But you have some radio stations I telling you, I listen to them and I could tell you the next song they come in and play. You understand? And we need to change this thing. We need to advertise everybody because everybody has a piece of the product in their hand. It's just a matter of time for them to give it out. You understand? So we need to get away from this children mentality. Well, in fact, I don't even say in children because children doesn't behave. We need to get away from this kind of mentality. And let's focus on, hey, we have a product to sell. At the end of the day, when we sell that product and people come to Grenada, everybody, as they just say, eat our food.
Eat our food, yeah.
Simple.
Here's $1 million question, guys. And again, you're watching Right Along Live. We're having a discussion about items that we believe that could improve the brand, SpiceMas. Of course, you could chime in. You can call in 718-701-5720. The $1 million question is, DJ Buki and Ron, does artists need radio play or DJs? In this time of social media, the advent of all of this different Facebook, TikTok, this one, that one, that one, is it needed? Do you really need to have a radio station push your music in order to popularize your music?
Go first, Ron. I'll answer after.
All right. Now, Junior, let me tell you this, One, not everybody has, I mean, yeah, we all have access to internet, but let me tell you something. You just going down on the bus and the bus playing your Junior George song. There might be 5 people on that bus, never hear your song yet, and they would go on and look up for it on YouTube. Hey, I hear that tune. And they say it's Junior George just sing that tune. Let me go on YouTube and look for Junior George. So we need the radio stations. It's important because sometimes we don't even thinking about, hey, you have songs that I didn't hear and I heard it on bus and I go on YouTube and look for the song. You understand? So the radio stations are very important. You understand? They are very important. They play an important role when it comes to building an artist. And again, it's like when you look at America politics, one of the things that getting the competition big is the newscast. Everybody is key to the newscast, the TV station, the radio station, to see what's going on. Yes, you could go on YouTube and so, but everybody wants to watch the news. You could watch it on the internet, but sometimes you may not think you're there home, you're watching the news, you see, hey, we have a soca artist in Grenada, or they have a show coming up, and you watching GBN News. For example, we just saying that you watching GBN News, and you see this soca artist come up, hey, that man having a show, and he might just do a little clip, and you say, hey, you know, I never hear about this man. You go on YouTube one time and you look him up. So they play a key role. They play a key role.
I echo your sentiments.
Yeah.
I echo your sentiments. Especially in our community, radio is very important. Very important. And the comments that I made just now about how the airplay and so forth is being influenced by sources other than the persons working on the radio. People, I am not saying this to point out or to bash a particular DJ or radio station, or else I would have called them out by name. I will do that. I am simply making it known that this is the way that the industry of music is run. The producers with the money make the hits. People might believe that it is just magic that certain artists always have a #1 song. It's not. The money that is paid to make these songs be in regular rotations on a station is enough to pay for that song to play and pay for another song not to be played if it's going to compete. So it's not Grenada have a problem with that. It is going to be like that for a while. Now, there's a different scenario that I'm addressing. You see, the part where I am working on a radio station on a day-to-day basis, I have a competition coming up, and I am willfully on my own merit not giving artists an equal or a level playing field going into competition. That is what I'm addressing. That is what I'm addressing. You cannot personalize an artist just because. You have to remember people are listening and people point it out. They'll always point it out.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, again, we open up the phone lines if you want to call in and join us. 718-701-5720. Of course, we have DJ Buki and Ron, and we're talking about SpiceMas. I want to pull this in a little bit more towards the carnival and SpiceMas in particular. Yesterday, I made some strong and solid pronouncement about certain things that I believe that was sort of not done how I thought that it should be done. But that was just my personal opinion. So I want to share some of it with you guys so you could chime in on it. One, what's your take on the pay-per-view? And do you think that they should look at a different way? Because during the pay-per-view this year, we had, and last year, and the years before, in the past recent times, you always see those Facebook pages that came up and start streaming pay-per-view. You have pay-per-view that may have about 200 people watching, and then those pages have 6 and 7 and 800 people that's watching. And you shut down one, another one come up, and it's just crazy. It's just the whole thing is the monetary and who's trying to hijack the broadcast. What's your take on the pay-per-view in this modern times? Do you think something should be done? Ron, you want to try it?
Yeah. What I think, yes, it's a good thing to have the pay-per-view thing, Junior. But my take on it is, I think it should be expanded. It should be expanded. Let me tell you something. Very few people look at these platforms, and then if you having something like this, very few people watch SpiceMas platform to see anything. To be honest with you, you have a few people that would watch it. Now, I think if they could share it. Now, you could say to me, hey, listen, Junior George, this is SpiceMas platform. Listen, we want to give you a gig. This is how much you would have to pay and promote it. Or you could say, listen, you could do it and do it for free. A lot of people look at you, Junior. A lot of people look at Mikey Live. You understand? Why don't you share it up? Don't play greedy. As I say, that is a pie. Everybody could get a piece of the pie. It's big enough. You understand? And we could reach more people, because you alone doing it. How much people? I mean, I'm a young person, and to be honest with you, I didn't even know it have a SpiceMas platform. To be honest with you. So, and it might be 500 like me who don't even know that. But Junior, as I put on my phone and I go on Facebook, I will see Mikey Live. I will see you live. You understand? Right. You will pop up. I've never seen a SpiceMas thing pop up on my phone. So why don't you just share it and say, hey, listen, stream it, or even if they want to thing, you sell, you have your ads, whatever, you run in your ads, and you already make your money. You understand? You could do that.
Yeah. Mookie, what's your take on the pay-per-view scene?
That was big facts there on. It coming like I've been looking at this for a while, right? And I have an issue with I have an issue with this now that I could address SpiceMas Corporation. I met with the head of SpiceMas Corporation sometime last year. And we had a small talk on the side of the road, but apparently he probably oversighted me. So I reached out to him a couple of times before SpiceMas 2023, because I had his personal number and he didn't respond to me. Well, he did respond, he said hello, but he never said anything after that. And my take on it is, these are the things that we need to capitalize on if SpiceMas is to make plenty money, in contrast to extorting vendors on the street who are trying to make a small money. Now, after Soca Monarch, I went on the YouTube platform to type in Soca Monarch 2024. It was about a day after Soca Monarch or so. And the first platform that had Soca Monarch videos was Trini Jungle Juice. Trini
Yeah.
Jungle Juice the next day after Soca Monarch. No, the Olympics just went by, and if we notice, it was very difficult for men to post things very, very soon after the Olympics, and some of the videos were not very good because the Olympics platform gangster them out from doing that. Now, if SpiceMas wants to broaden the horizons, they need to collaborate with all these other people who are already streaming their stuff. Some of them may be almost for free, or some of those who already have the rights to stream our stuff, the rights to broadcast our stuff, and the rights to, how you call it again, put up our stuff on the internet. Um, they need to collaborate with them. So when SpiceMas is having a the Match Grass show, or a Soca Monaco or a Queen show, whatever SpiceMas is showing, they all have to be showing what SpiceMas is showing because SpiceMas has all exclusive rights to it. But they have platforms way bigger than SpiceMas is, that SpiceMas can also use, of course, with a payment, to broadcast the very said show. Because if SpiceMas choose to be greedy with it, as you say, the 1.2K that might be on SpiceMas, while them fellas showing this on the side with 15K because they men broadcasting for Trinidad, which have 1 million people. But a spin following alone go be more than what everybody outside of Grenada who is Grenadian watching. We need to collab with these people. We need open up the SpiceMas platform for them. Don't allow them to do what they want. Because posting SpiceMas content, I believe, online should have a violation. I'm not supposed to see a next company post Boise Soca Monarch performance before SpiceMas posted it. I just find that is a sign of carelessness on our part. And if we're streaming, nobody else supposed to stream outside of our stream. Everybody could broadcast our stream. Don't hold it back from anybody as we have been doing. Open it up, but they are working on SpiceMas terms. Remember, people want to be a part of SpiceMas. That's why they come. Those who don't come are usually those who just find it too expensive to come, but they all want to come, right? So if by chance financial constraints they can do it this year and they want to stay home and look at the entire SpiceMas thing on TV, some of them don't know SpiceMas have, as you said, they don't know SpiceMas have a platform streaming because when you come up with Mikey or this guy or TTTR or Trini Jungle Juice or whosoever else you might let stream it on the side, but yet still it being streamed, and SpiceMas is not eating out of the bulk of the people who are viewing. 10,000 people could be viewing, but SpiceMas are 1,000 on the live. We losing on it.
Right. I think, and you guys made some very, very, very valid points. The point I was making yesterday, and I will continue to make, and in fact, I plan to campaign on that point until some people really start taking it seriously. The pay-per-view was a thing of the years past, really and truly, guys. And I outline a couple benefits of not doing the pay-per-view and opening up the broadcast. Now, we're not saying to make the thing free. When you say first of all, when you say making something free, nothing is really ever free. Somebody's paying for it, right? But I'm thinking about now opening up the broadcast of Soca Monarch on this carnival events, license for specific platforms. So for instance, Ride Along would say, okay, I want to be a part of the pool of authorized broadcast platforms. You get a license. Say you pay SpiceMas $2,000, $3,000. They give you a cross-post right, so you have rights. But it's free to broadcast out. And SpiceMas now got a slew of advertisers. And when we talk about advertisers, I'm not talking about going and knocking Flow or Digicel to deeper into their budget, you know. I'm talking about, and Digibook, you've been there, you've been to London, you see the amount of people that are international businesses out there in the UK, in Canada, in the United States, and all over that will love the opportunity to advertise their product or services to over 5,000, 6,000. In this particular case, when it's all said and done, you're going to have over 2 million or 3 million people watch this broadcast. A massive sale. This is a Super Bowl kind of crowd. Eyeballs like crazy. You sell that to advertisers and you're making 15 to 20 times the money that you're trying to make. In addition, what you're doing, and I said this yesterday, what you're doing, you are opening up the market for the artists. Now the artist music going to reach even further. In addition, you are opening up the eyeball for SpiceMas. People who never knew about SpiceMas before go know about it now. So there are many major benefits of not doing pay-per-view. But I think that the short-sightedness is killing us, because we're saying, okay, well, if we open it up, then we're not going to get the money up front. We're not going to make $37,000. We're not going to make $45,000. And think about how narrow this is, eh? $45,000. That's it. Let me tell you, one advertiser is paying you $50,000 or whatever US dollars to get diamond, platinum rights to broadcast advertising. A Super Bowl type event as big as SpiceMas Grenada Carnival. So I really think that, like, effective now, they should just start working on this and designate and find people in these territories, Canada, England, and let them be marketing agents and get ads in those jurisdictions for advertise for next year. It can be a 2 weeks thing. It has to be a long-term thing. Think about Aruba. I don't know if you've been there. Aruba Tourism Board budget for advertising is, I mean, millions in the budget for advertising. Trinidad, Jamaica, all of these tourism board will certainly advertise on a platform like this if it open up to this maximum amount of people. So I think they need to forget about the short-sightedness of the pay-per-view. Do away with the pay-per-view. Get rid of it. It makes no sense at this point. The time for pay-per-view is done, and SpiceMas cannot and should not to feel like they need to crunch everything. They need to crunch the preliminaries, and no other platform could put it out there. That is that really killed the vibe, because even Run don't even know if SpiceMas had a platform. Even Run don't even know SpiceMas have a platform, and I can't believe it. That is so crazy. Run, you didn't know they have a platform.
No, no, Junior, to be honest with you, I didn't know. It's only when you mention it, I heard about it, but I've never heard about it. I was like shocked when I heard you mention it. Never heard of it. And I'm a social media man. I'm on social media every living day. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow. Yeah, let's take a call. We got another caller on the line. Caller, your live, where you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Toronto, Junior. I'm going to be very short, not going to be so long. I have just 2 questions and 1 statement. First and foremost, what I realized is that friends with music is always entertained, right? So you're not going to get it played, so don't worry about it. However, Grenada Carnival was great. Yes, I agree with the panel. Things needs to be better. However, Junior, we need to pay attention to our local culture, because there's music that everybody loves all over the world, like one of your representatives on the panel said earlier on. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to say to the world. You love a particular music, the time and dedication and the things that you do and the money that you pay to get to that point, it's really tough and hard. However, I need to get a play on the radio station. Whether you like me or not, there's other people that love me, and they just, even if you're mixing songs, but just to involve each other into the culture is very important. One more thing, Junior. Whatever you do, God bless you, because you bring out the best in people. Let us not make this a Grenadian thing. Let us not make this
Run like you go top junior.
I know.
You look like you go top junior. Somehow you gotta get back on. But the caller was just about getting to a point that I think, oh, here comes Junior.
Hey, can we just make it Grenadian? Can we just make it, I am inviting you and you come here, you enjoy yourself, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do it as one Caribbean, one unity without we're not going down the road of no degradation.
Yeah.
We are just having our culture in our country, and we're going to invite you, and this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I just want to make one last note. I'm not going to stay long. I'm just going to make one last note. Coming to music and musician, radio station, wherever we're coming from DJs, listen, everyone wants to get a little piece of the pie. And if you ain't play Muddy or you ain't play Scholar or you ain't play whatever for the whole day, just give them a little piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my thought to that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, Bookie, that me I'm a whole internet here, boy. Let me tell you, I mean, waste. That internet me give me waste for the past couple of days.
I thought Ron got you off, you know.
Nah, you've been really giving me waste for the past couple of days, boy. I'm trying my best. I have a few more days left with it until I get back into my studio. I miss my studio. That stuff never happens there. Anyway, guys, we're chatting live here, right along live, and thanks for your input on this. And so we have actually went over time already, a whole half an hour over time. But I think that there's so much conversation, so much more things that need to be said here.
True.
Spoke about the job, we spoke about the competition. DJ Bookie, let me go around the circles with you and Ron again. What are some of the things in Carnival that you saw that needs improvement? Bookie, let's go with you first.
As we said with the mass bands generally, we need to do something with the foreign mass bands, not about them. We need to do something with the foreign mass bands. The local mass bands, they need to beef up their game as well because they need to attract more mass players. In case we are abandoned by the foreign mass bands, our carnival still needs to continue. I think we need to do a little better with the. I'm not good at it, but there are people who are in position to be taking care of these things. We need to do better with time management, and as hard as it is, the events management need to be a little more on point. Sometimes you don't know what's going on. Sometimes I'm not just this year. I'm not mentioning this year in particular, but I've been at events where the DJ doesn't really know what's going on with the artist, and in the midst of the production, the DJ has to receive a flash drive. Like these things should run a little smoother. On the day-to-day, on the day of the carnival itself, we need to also do something about the vendors and the cost that they are operating at, because they are balling, right? Anybody could see presently also on the internet, people are having issues with what is being played, what the DJs play, or what I'm bashing DJs for, so forth and so forth. I believe that you cannot stop foreign DJs to come in, but the mass band also needs to brief every DJ on your truck that this is not a foreign carnival, this is Grenada's carnival. Even if you're going to play foreign music, which we cannot stop you from playing foreign music, remember it is Grenada's carnival, especially Grenada DJs. Somebody in SpiceMas Corporation needs to hold a workshop with DJs, whether they be radio DJs, Blocko DJs, beach DJs, backyard DJs, or DJs on the road for carnival. Because remember, these on the road for carnival, you're showcasing Grenada soca music. The rest of countries already have the DJs promoting their own, and they're doing a great job at it. That is why we hear so much and love so much of those other songs. And if we are going to allow people to like or love our soca just as much, we cannot only narrow down to one or two of the artists who we think that we like, or continuously play segments of foreign music now. There are times when you might do it, but when you get a chance to showcase local to the world as a Grenadian DJ, and I say this everywhere I go, remember your mission. You owe every artist in Grenada your your oath to give them the ability to, because sometimes you don't play the song. And when you go overseas, the songs that you hear the foreign DJs playing and giving big forward is the same song that you don't play. You're going to feel bad.
True.
That is three areas that we could be supporting. And at the top of it, I believe that the bureaucracy that is involved within the SpiceMas Corporation itself, it needs to be a little less rigid. You have to be a little more flexible. They need to open their ears to more people. Imagine, I don't know if they listen to the DJs. So they don't know what's the DJ's problem. I don't know if they listen to the general public, so they know what is the general public's problem. I think we just operate SpiceMas Corporation on a year-to-year basis, where we know that this is coming up, and we could charge the artists for their shows, we could charge the promoters for their shows, and get our money from the vendors, collect money from the mass bands, and then we have money to pay off bills. I don't think that is looking at the bigger picture. We have to start looking at the bigger picture. Junior, as you said, and I could testify, God bless me, that I see a lot of places in the world already. Some places that a lot of DJs never hear about. Some places that a lot of artists never go. And guess what? When I go there, sometimes I mention Grenada, and people who I expect would have heard about Grenada have never heard about Grenada. They've never, much less Spice, much less about Mass and Jab. They've never. You would swear, because they're always around Caribbean people. So I believe that there is more revenue, or maybe more capital, I should say, that should be pumped into marketing SpiceMas on a broader basis. I watch basketball. I don't watch NFL, but I've never seen a Grenada advertisement at a basketball game on TV. I've seen Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and all these countries. Why not Grenada? What is happening with the monies that we're pumping into SpiceMas or tourism? Where are these monies really going?
Right.
That is my.
And now, point there, the things that I want to put in there as a thought. Someone brought it to my attention a few years ago. I can't remember who. But the idea of festival tax is something that I think could be implemented, and very easily and simply. Everyone always try to figure out who are some of the stakeholders and people that should spend the money. I think if instituted properly, a little festival tax that charges a little $2 or $3 or $5 additional to your ticket within a certain period of time, you ain't go feel it. JetBlue charging what, $150 for your second check bag. You know what I mean? How much really coming there? So if we put $152 and let them put a little $2 extra, you understand how much millions of dollars that's going to be coming into the coffers of SpiceMas in particular. So with that being said, you don't have to run down the DJ and try to feel like you're in competition with every promoter or in every mass band, right? SpiceMas would have the funds, because if you have additional $5 million, imagine if the festival tax was able to raise a surplus of $5 million by just taking $2, $3 out of ticket sales for a traveling period between this time and that time. Think about the millions that could be garnered and put into the coffers. They could raise the stake to $500,000. The artists took amount $500,000, because if you're getting $5 million in festival tax, why? Then you don't have to worry about all of these money problems. And I think that would bring a better product.
Junior, just before you let him run, just let me say that as well. That came across my mind, but it slipped me. Lastly, on an artist level, remember, no artist is bigger than the business. Having a hit song this year does not guarantee you that you're going to walk up in front of a gate of a show next year and walk in for free. Grenadians are very funny people. Are you supposed to know that? You have seen artists big this year, and never hear a song from them the following year. Artists, you all are not so big when you have one song. This business is very, very liquid. When you realize people start liking your song, sacrifice. Get a little brethren with a transport. Go all over the place and sing your song. Even if when you're done singing, you have to beg the promoter to give you a gas change. Do it. I have seen worse ways gone from glory and then they went down very low at one point. And guess what they did? I saw them in every ghetto fete. And the next year they had to take it to them international hit that still run the place. Don't feel if you have a song this year, you're all that. You're not all that. Don't feel every promoter have to call you and tell you come and book you for any big show. And then you get a manager to rack up. Yes, we know you want to do your thing right. But let me tell you something. The Vibes Cartels and the Bojo Bantans and the whosoever, them brothers stand up wrong song and toast countless nights and give free dub play to all these big songs before we hear about them in Grenada. One word to the wise is sufficient, as Mr. Pierre would have said. A library to a full still won't work.
Yeah. Before we go to Ron, I just wanted to, someone just sent me this information and we have to make it very clear because we don't want to provide inaccurate information, especially about SpiceMas. We spoke earlier about the vending and the cost of vending. Now, the $800 includes a tent, all right? So the $800 when you vend, when you pay that fund, it does include a tent. And they say as low as $250 on the carnage when the lights was still up. So I guess it's different areas you pay more, but to the comment Ron made earlier, it does include a tent. $800 does include a tent. Just wanted to make that clarification there. Ron, your closing words on some of the things, and whenever we say something, we have to give ways in which we think that it would make this, we could make it better. We don't just want to throw things out there randomly. Yeah. Right.
Junior, my first take is the Calypso. Junior, trust me. I mean, the Calypsonian did a fantastic job. Yes, no doubt about it. But Junior, the late start, it was one of the worst. I mean, honestly speaking, Junior, I have been to Calypso nearly every year. I go because I always do like a performance for different Calypsonians. So I'm there nearly every year. And Junior, for this year, to be honest with you, I mean, if you see Calypso is dying, and it's as though we taking stick and shove down each throat because we find it dying too slow. What I believe is that, and let me tell you the little solution. Now, is elderly people coming and look at Calypso? Let's try and start the Calypso a little more early. Even if we could have the parade at the band start 6 o'clock and the Calypso starts at, let me say, 8 o'clock. Because they advertise 8 o'clock, but Calypso didn't start until probably minutes to 10. You understand? So we need to fix. Secondly,
because there was a lot of rain to it. Keep that in mind. There was a lot of rain.
I know there was rain, but Junior, let me tell you, even when you see the rain, the few people that was there, we could have started the Calypso. You understand? Or start the parade of the band during the 8 o'clock. I mean, and then leave it by the time people come, then we know 9 o'clock, okay, we start. So that was reasonable. Because as I say, it's elderly people coming and look at Calypso and we want to keep them coming. But if we do this, what happening next year? You know how Grenadians stand. They start so late last year. Me and feel are going in that. You know, that is how we just think. You know? Secondly, the parade of the band. The distance, especially with the Juve morning. Junior, you know how hot that sun does be. Mm-hmm. And you have to travel from all that distance to come all along wherever they go around the Grosse Points or whatever they call it. It's a long journey. I know a lot of people who tell me they had to drop out of the band because it was too long. The sun was hot. Well, thank God we get a liquor rain. So that was okay. Generally, I mean, to be honest with you, as I said in the beginning, Junior, they are trying. But I think we've been doing this for too long to be trying still. It's time we and I don't know if it's because it's the same people putting the stone in the basket, we getting the same weight because they're using the same size as stone. That's just my take on it, you know. But
Right.
we need to do a little either we do a little shuffle up and we try to see take from what we see this year and then we move forward and try to address some of those small issues where, you know, as I say, this late start of the calypso, the distance of the parade of the band and all these things. These are little things we could put together and try and solve it. Would
Right.
make it a little better.
I hear that. I hear that. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for giving us your input. We appreciate it. And sometime next week, we'll try to have the final part of the discussion. Hopefully, we'll have someone from SpiceMas to give their perspective on everything as we try to do a postmortem on Carnival 2024. DJ Bookie and Ron,
Yes,
Barry,
ma'am.
big up you guys self. Thank you so much. I appreciate your
Yeah,
time.
thank you very much.
Today. All right, we'll keep in touch, my friends.
Take care.
Yeah, man. Hey, guys, we got a quick commercial break. When I come back, I got my closing words. Don't move. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching Right Along Live.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
Spice Love Comedy Bash is back by popular demand. Saturday 17th August at the Trade Center in Grandance and Sunday 18th August at Deluxe Cinema Grenville, 7 p.m. both shows. Prepare to be swept off your seats as Grenada's ambassadors of comedy will flood the place with laughter. Robert White, Dillian Walters and Gregory Paul, Kareem Alexis, and a host of others outrageously funny people doing outrageously funny things. Get your $60 tickets on sale at Mitchell's Pharmacy Food Fair Complex Grandance, Gittins Pharmacy Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy Pedmata, St. Andrew's Pharmacy Grenville, St. David's Pharmacy, Art and Soul Bookstore, Spiceland Mall, 3B Shoe Store, downtown St. George's, and go to Fed.com. Tickets for the previously scheduled Grenville performances are valid for both shows. Don't miss this final opportunity to enjoy a good Grenadian laugh at Spice Laugh Comedy Bash, 17th and 18th August at the Grenada Trade Center and Deluxe Cinema. Get your tickets and come prepared to laugh.
Pick yourself up with Ride Rent a e-bike today and take advantage of the smartest and coolest way to get around. Rental starting for only $30 per hour and less than $100 EC per day. Zip through traffic, save money, and look awesome doing it. Check us out at the Esplanade Mall today. Visit us online at ridersebike.com or give us a call at 473-422-1011. Your wallet and the planet will thank you. Ride Rent a e-bike.
Yeah. All right, guys, you know, earlier when we spoke and we mentioned about the pay-per-view and doing away with the pay-per-view, someone said, well, if we have a situation where we have all these people putting ads in the broadcast, that would be a lot of ads. And someone interjected that in a way like, well, you know, it would be a bad thing. That's not too much of a bad thing. I think that we sometimes even misunderstand the whole marketing and promotion work. Advertising doesn't necessarily mean just running ads. There are many subliminal ways of advertising. And some sponsors, me being in the market, sometimes I'm wearing a shirt, sometimes I'm wearing a hat. You don't even recognize sometimes that I may have a cup or something. It's subliminal marketing, right? So every advertising and marketing doesn't have to be an ad in a block, right? That's part of it. But there are many other ways in which an advertising could go through. There are many other ways to reach people than to run an ad in an ad spot. And even if it is that we have a lot of ads running, rest assured that is a success because they're making a lot of money. At the end of the day, you would get what you want because you want the entertainment and you're not paying for it. But somebody have to pay for it because nothing is free. At the end of the day, somebody have to pay for it. And if that means that ad have to run during breaks or changeovers or whatever, or you might see some subliminal things at the bottom scrolls, whatever it might be, you should be happy because at least all you have to do is just watch. And then for the people who may, from time to time, decide that they would hijack the broadcast, SpiceMas would say, take it, hijack it, rebroadcast it. It's free. So you get less of that. And the focus would now be placed on putting together a good product. But that product has to be really produced properly. That product has to be produced in the highest possible production standard. Not just for the broadcast on television, but the event itself. You know, all that lapsing in time and all of that, it has to be like a well-oiled, orchestrated machine. The broadcasts have to showcase the best of Grenada, the best of SpiceMas. And oftentimes, guys, we don't see that. We see short step, we see all of those things. But I believe that the way to go, the way forward, is to produce this carnival, put it out to the world, give artists the maximum exposure. Just imagine for a second, 2.5 million people watch a single broadcast. Think about what the marketing would be for the next year. Think about the reach now. A marketing agency could go on, that particular event reach over 2.5 to 3 million people. Let me tell you something. Goldman Sachs and Chase Bank and Capital One and all these banks and big agencies will happily jump on board and spend top dollars knowing that they have the eyeball of over 3 million people. That is marketing. And if there is short-sightedness to not see that, then they need spectacles. Because the way forward is not pay-per-view. We need to open it up. Open it up, as Sparrow say. Open up the door, man. Let the thing come in. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program today. We leave now with a performance from the 2024 Calypso King Grenada Carriacou.
Loader. We going crazy.
Innocent. Catch you guys
come to party
tomorrow. Good night.
Are you ready? You sure you ready? One job, AC. You see, when we call for madness, I want all you to jump and shake up all your business. 1, 2, 3, jump. I can hear you. I don't know background, you know. We psycho party. Soca music. Louder. They say we lay back.
All right, so Baraka is off stage. He's with us now. Baraka, you're like Stevie Wonder tonight.
Something coming down. Hey.
Something coming down.
It's nothing short of Beethoven and Tchaikovsky. Syncopation and melody is a marriage for eternity. And I'm sure that all them judges agree. So when I sing this one, they go sprang along, they go jump up and raise their hand. Cause everything about this masterpiece is like a breath of fresh air. This year the innocent guilty So tell them fellas beware. We sent up a new monarchy like a fragrance up in the air. To roots man, Kelly the roller heavy. That's right. Until the scholar his reign is over. Oh oh. We come to play, 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 sweet pan. I tell you. Pan man go to bully places, yeah. Tell them this sweet Kaiso bound to be the talk of the day. No one can resist, so let it play. Play! Dimensions fans. New dimensions. What? I want to hear you. Sweet pan, baby. Sweet pan. Sweet pan, baby. Sweet pan. Sweet pan, 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 sweet pan. All those of you who love pan music, really love pan music. Anybody here from Rainbow City? Rainbow City All Stars. Squad say. Next year we coming back. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da. Thank you very much, ladies and gents. Enjoy the rest of the show. I want to hear that solo here. One. Stadium, I love you.
California number 9, Gordon Innocent Joseph. Woo.
Spice Love Comedy Bash is back by popular demand. Saturday 17th August at the Trade Center in Grandance and Sunday 18th August at Deluxe Cinema Grenville, 7 p.m. both shows. Prepare to be swept off your seats as Grenada's ambassadors of comedy will flood the place with laughter. Robert White, Dillian Walters and Gregory Paul, Kareem Alexis, and a host of others outrageously funny people doing outrageously funny things. Get your $60 tickets on sale at Mitchell's Pharmacy Food Fair Complex Grandance, Gittins Pharmacy Wall Street, Gabriel's Pharmacy Pedmota, St. Andrew's Pharmacy Grenville, St. David's Pharmacy, Art and Soul Bookstore, Spiceland Mall, 3B Shoe Store, Downtown St. George's, and go to Fed.com. Tickets for the previously scheduled Grenville performances are valid for both shows. Don't miss this final opportunity to enjoy a good Grenadian laugh at Spice Laugh Comedy Bash, 17th and 18th August at the Grenada Trade Center and Deluxe Cinema. Get your tickets and come prepared to laugh.